This is part 3 of the recording of the Module 6 lecture. In this section, we're going to learn how to calculate, or rather obtain, probabilities from a standard normal distribution. All right, the first thing to note is that the probabilities determined from a normal or a standard normal distribution are cumulative probabilities. What does that mean? Well, that means that as the probability up to some value of x0 from minus infinity to that value, all that probability, think of a scanning going across from minus infinity all the way to x0. And as you move, you keep on adding the probability, in other words, the area under the curve. So in this case, when we said the cumulative probability, that means the probability that the random variable x takes some values less than some number x sub 0, or that the random variable z takes some values or some value less than some number z sub 0. This is part 3 of the Module 6 lecture. In this segment, we're going to learn to use the standard normal distribution to find probabilities. All right, the first thing to note is that when you are obtaining probabilities from a normal or a standard normal distribution, we are obtaining what is called cumulative probabilities. So it's an accumulation of probability from the leftmost value on the x scale or the z scale up to some number x sub 0 or z sub 0. So that means that the cumulative probability obtained from the normal or the standard normal distribution is that the probability that the random variable is less than some value, or that the random variable z is less than some value. So this is what we call probabilities to the left of the value. So cumulative probabilities, we're referring to probability to the left of the value. And you will hear me talking about probabilities to the left, probabilities to the right, or between two values. All right. Now, table 4, we're going to use that table, and it's posted on Blackboard. This table provides the standard normal probabilities. There is a probability that the random variable z is less than or equal to some number z sub 0. And this table provides scores that go, z-scores that go from minus 3.4 all the way to 3.49. Also, Excel calculates these cumulative probabilities for any normal distribution and for the standard normal distribution. So if you like to use Excel and you would like to calculate the probability to the left of some x value of the random variable x, then you will use this formula, the equal norm.dist, where you will enter the x sub 0 value here, the mean and the standard deviation of the distribution of x, and then true to calculate the cumulative probability. If you like to get a probability from a standard normal, for a standard normal value or a z value, then you use a equal norm.s.dist. And here you put the z value, this z sub 0, and then true to get the cumulative probability. So again, I'll let you do that on your own if you like to. All right, so let's continue talking about cumulative probability. So the cumulative probability is the area under the curve to the left of some value, x sub 0 or z sub 0, depending on what we're working with. So you can see that as the value of x or z increases, the area under the curve increases. So remember, the z values, for example, they start at negative numbers. As they start moving towards the 0 and then beyond into the positive numbers, so z is increasing. So as z increases, and of course x is increasing as well, then the area under the curve keeps on growing. That means the probability keeps on increasing. And that's what I'm trying to show you with these 3 graphs, where z sub 0 is minus 0.5 in the first one, in the second one is 0, and in the third one is 0.8. And you can see the probability to the left of each of those values is increasing as the value of z increases. All right. And you can see this in table 4. In fact, here's table 4. This is posted on Blackboard, as I mentioned. And you can see that this table, it has 2 pages. The first page, which includes the negative z values, and then the second page, which includes the positive z values. So on the first page, you can see that the table starts with z values of minus 3.40. So if you notice here, this column shows you the first digit of the z value and the first decimal place. And then the columns correspond to the second decimal place of the z value. So here, 3.40 it gives you this probability. So the probability to the left of a z value, 3.40, is 0.0003. Again, if you go to the end of the table and you see this is 0.009, so the probability to the left of the value 0.009 is 0.4641. So if you look at this probability, so again, these are the probabilities. This is the first part of the z-score, and this is the second decimal place of the z-score, and these are the probabilities. So as you look at the probabilities, you see that they keep on increasing. As z increases, the probabilities increase. If you go to the second page, we start exactly with z equals to 0. And of course, that's 0.5. So as you keep on going, as z increases, you see that the probabilities increase. For example, here at the very last entry in this table is 3.49. The probability for that to the left of that value is 0.998. So again, we're going to come back and use this table quite often. But again, you need to get very familiar with using this table to find probabilities. All right, here's an example. So we want to find the probability that the random variable z is less than 0.12. Right? The first thing to do is we find the first part of the z number, 0.1, in the column. And here I copy a piece of table 4, and you see here is 0.1. And then the second number is 0.02. So 0.02 is located here. And at the intersection of these two numbers, you find the probability that you're looking for. So in this case, the probability that the random variable z is less than 0.12 is 0.5478. So that's what this is showing. And another thing I'm doing every time I calculate a probability, I sketch the normal distribution and I mark the z value and the area that represents the probability that I'm looking for. Here I'm shading the area to the left of the z value that I'm looking for, whose probability I'm looking for. All right. So remember, table 4 only provides probabilities that the random variable z is less than some value. So I emphasize less than. Now, sometimes some problems, and in fact the majority of the cases, you're not given the z-score. You're given a description of some random variable and its normal probability distribution. That means they give you the mean and the standard deviation of the normal probability distribution of this random variable x, and they ask you to find the probability that that random variable x is less than some number x sub 0. When that happens, we have to do a two-step process to obtain the probability. First, we transform the x sub 0 number, this number that is given to us in the problem, we change it into a z-score using the mean and the standard deviation of the distribution of x. Once we have found the z-score, then we go on to table 4 and find the probability to the left of z sub 0. And notice that because this z-score comes from x, the x sub 0 value, then these two probabilities are exactly the same. So even though you are getting a probability from a standard normal distribution, but because you're using the z value that you calculated from the x value, from the x random variable, then those two probabilities are the same. All right, so when we're finding probabilities, we're going to find two possible cases. Some problems will ask you to find the probability that less than some value, that is to the left of some value, or they may ask you to find the probability that the random variable is larger than some value. That means find the probability to the right of that value. Or sometimes they may be asking you to find the probability between two values of or rather that the probability that the random variable is between two values, x1 and x2, or z1 and z2. Another possibility is that they will ask you to calculate the probability that the random variable is beyond some x1 value and beyond some x2 value. So in the first case is the probability to the left of x1, and the second case the probability to the right of x2, or c1 or c2. All right, in the next segment we will talk about how to find the probabilities for each of these cases.